Please don't put the thing where Yasha says she wants death panels into the episode. Hello and welcome to Madoka Magicast, a podcast devoted to the dark magical girl anime Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I'm your host Amanda, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Yasha and Vanna.
Hi!
The owners of the biggest revolutionary girl Utena website, Empty Movement. And I'm joining them as they watch Madoka Magica for the first time ever, and we're going to talk about what we love and sometimes don't love about the show. Apologies ahead of time if my voice sounds different, because I am recording from inside my new house that I bought a couple
congratulations!
weeks ago. Yeah!
Congrats!
How are you liking being a homeowner so far?
It's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
we've
it
done
is.
so far since we moved in was fix things.
Yeah. That never changes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to.
That is eternal.
Yeah. How are you
Death
guys
and
doing
house
this week?
taxes. I'm here.
We're existing.
I'm crying for the death of my nice, lovely life as a protected, unionized co-worker.
Aww.
Because for some reason Alberta decided we needed to elect idiots.
Basically.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We're
are gonna gut
recording this
healthcare.
on the same day as the Mueller report came out, everybody listening to this later. So today's been a wild ride in terms of the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't really gone online at all to like read up on it, aside
Neither
from
have
that Trump posted some shit about like, this is presidential harassment, and I'm like, oh yeah, what a terribly oppressed cultural group presidents are.
I know,
Tough-
and if
tough gig.
there's one group of people who should expect to never be criticized and put under scrutiny, it's the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
Sigh. God,
Yeah.
let's not think about this trash. I haven't
let's
slept
not-
enough to
I
think
have
about this.
sweet, optimistic, and positive things to think about, like Kyousuke.
Oh,
Yay!
he's trash too.
Just think of the adorable, cute little animal who turns into
Yeah!
a magical girl.
Trump would be a lot easier to stomach if he was also a cute anime.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he
Please, somebody draw Trump's Kyousuke Sona. Oh,
Oh,
my
God.
god.
Oh my god,
Please,
no!
please, somebody draw Trump's Kyousuke Sona.
I think they did. That's Keppi.
would.
No. Keppi is way cuter.
I know. I'm
So,
just
I don't think we've recorded since Sarah Zanmai started, have we?
No, it did. We haven't.
Yeah, so
Sarah
Keppi
Zanmai
is-
exists.
Yeah, Keppi's the Kappa from Sarah Zanmai, the new
And-
spring 2019 anime.
Yeah. And he radiates Kyousuke. Like, he's the same kind of like, I was gonna say adorable, but never mind, kind of mascot character.
I think he is less sinister than Kyousuke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's
That's a low
definitely,
bar.
like- yeah, it's definitely like bizarre. It's more that Ikuhara bizarreness, I think.
Yes.
I have seen entirely too much of that thing's butthole.
We're not done. Yes, you
Yeah,
never do see
there's-
Kyuube's anus, so I guess
Yes.
I'll give that to Kyousuke.
Kyousuke is plus over Keppi. This is
Yes.
his only
Gonna predict he
good
doesn't
thing.
have one.
There are
even
more buttholes in episode 2, which came out today.
Oh, I do not doubt it.
Yeah.
Right.
Spoilers!
Anyway,
Sorry.
so-
Oh, crap.
Ikuhara gay anime is gay. Hey, spoilers!
Remember that time Ikuhara made an anime that completely revolves around coping with his ability to enjoy anal play?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that time.
Yeah.
Revolutionary Girlito was so good. Such a good anime.
An anime about discovering the prostate.
Yeah. I remember.
Anyway, maybe we should get on to Madoka.
Wait, let's get on to Madoka, which has way fewer buttholes. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
think
oof.
I don't think
Big
I could handle
oof.
seeing anuses in Madoka.
No,
No, I hope I
fucking-
never do.
fucking
Probably
yikes.
because they would be not in a funny way and more of in a perverted way. Because that's
Yeah.
the kind of, yeah.
Crew
Anyway.
we're dealing with. Anyway.
Today's episode is episode 5. There's no way I'd regret this. Now,
Wow.
That's a cursed title if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just
I
so...
can feel the curse radiating off of it. We're not even like it, we don't even see it in the anime yet, and I feel the curse.
Yeah, it's pretty
Foreboding.
tongue-in-cheek right from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was originally aired on February 3rd, 2011. Written again by Gen Urobuchi. I think we're going to end up at the end of this with him having written the script of every
All of
single
it.
episode. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
That's very
It was
unusual.
storyboarded by Shinichi Omada, directed by Takahiro Majima, and the animation is done by 3 people again in this episode. Mino Honda, Mayuko Matsumoto, and Kazuhisa Kosuga. I feel like none of those names are familiar.
Has Omada been storyboarding all of the episodes? Because I feel like the writing and the story, like, that name sounds familiar, and I'm feeling like those two do a lot of the... Like, it's written and storyboarded by the same people.
I don't know if Omada has done
I'm going to go back and
all
check.
of them so far, but he's done at least one other one. Or he's
Oh,
done
yeah.
animation, or he's directed it, or something.
It's just the only thing I have it to you know, connected to is Utena. And I know Sailor Moon did kind of the same thing where it's like, you know, people's like your cousin and your puppy and everyone gets to storyboard or direct, and it's just a complete clusterfuck. You don't have, you know, entire groups of episodes being storyboarded or written or directed even by the same people.
Yeah.
Because you'll have like 3 of them being made concurrently by different, you know what I mean?
The
So,
A team, the B team, and the C team.
so having it be like written and even possibly storyboarded by like the same people repeatedly is, I think, part of why this is feeling so much more tight than some other even short stuff I've seen.
Yeah,
But-
I think as the anime industry has moved away from like year-long seasons and more into like the 11, 12 episode, like the whole show is just 11 or 12 episodes, I think it's gotten a lot easier to have the animation look more consistent.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's less, it's weird because as far as I understand, like the industry has become way more of a like churn it out system, but in different ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
Not better ways,
Yeah,
but
I
different
think
ways.
it's less built around tentpole shows as it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. A lot of
Anyway.
diversification. Anyway, so this is the cursed episode title.
a very
that-
cursed episode title. I guess we're gonna find out what happens in this episode.
Do
How
we need
quick?
to?
It's not will it get bad, but how quickly will it get bad?
If I recall, within like 3 shots.
Yep.
It gets
So
it gets bad.
we have a cold open. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So we left off in the last episode with Sayaka saving Madoka from H and Ellie.
Okay.
And we start this episode with essentially a flashback of Sayaka making her wish. So she goes up to the roof and she's there with Kyubei, and Kyubei is like again standing in like a fern or a plant or something, and it's got like this plume behind him with his tail, which is kind of an unusual, kind of a weird image. I'm not sure what's up with the emphasis
It is very
there.
strange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Sayaka's like, yeah, I'm definitely doing this, I'm sure. So he reaches down towards her with his ears. Like he reaches his
Which
ears
is
out.
seriously
It's tentacle
fucking
porn energy.
creepy. It is. Hey, isn't this when you pointed out earlier, isn't this when her shadow looks like
so
it's
like
moving?
there's a shot, you know, where you can see him, like his shadow tentacles approaching, and
Yeah.
Sayaka doesn't move in the shot, but her shadow steps back, and
It doesn't step back.
It doesn't step back.
It doesn't step back.
it doesn't step back, but
It's
it's
the lighting-
it's supposed to look like shifting light, but the way it looks, it also super looks like the shadow is moving back
Is
and
running
Sayaka's
away,
not.
basically.
which is-
Whoa, I gotta rewind it
Yeah.
then to take a look at that.
Yeah, like it could just be the way that they did the lighting, but you
It
wouldn't
is.
bother to animate that way.
Yeah, no,
For no
it's-
reason.
That's
It's
serving
supposed
a
to
double
feel.
purpose.
It's
That's-
supposed to feel like she's like going backwards. Or
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I
looks-
see what you mean. Like she's recoiling away from him.
yeah,
Yes.
but the shadow only.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
This is
yeah,
your
that
first
like
hint
that
this
looks
is a
very
bad idea.
Yeah, like her
Also,
shadow's trying to get the fuck away, and then just
Hube's
tentacle
ears
shit.
having gropey hands reaching for her heart. You mean tits?
Yeah,
Whatever.
and
In
she
that
I was
shot,
trying
it
to-
she
was
starts to
definitely
fall
the tits.
backwards. As
I'm
like-
guessing your
as-
soul is more in your heart than in your tits.
So she falls backwards after she grabs her soul gem, and it looks very much like a death scene, like a dramatic slow motion death scene as she falls to the ground.
Yeah, the whole thing is just framed as 100% not a good thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
it does not look like fun.
it really
looks
doesn't.
like
I'm not
Bad
gonna
times.
just bother with like I'm not even gonna do the sexual imagery thing, but
yeah, no.
because
Either
honestly,
way,
it's more like a death sequence than like a
It
losing
really
your
is.
virginity sequence.
it really is. It really is.
It's like they went just straight past the losing your virginity trope and went straight to death,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
which is a choice they made. That's yes.
I know, and I mean, I think that's significant because like the purity and virginity thing is a thing in magical girl shows.
Yes,
Yeah, so
and
This
dying
is-
while innocent is its own kind of messaging.
yeah, so this is a little bit more unusual,
Mm-hmm.
at least in terms of the symbolism that seems to be getting suggested here. But anyway, after
Yeah.
the cold open, we are in school.
In
And
school,
we
with
are
the
at
Burj
the
Khalifa
school.
again.
Yes. And Hitomi is tired, and she's talking about how she was up late talking to the police in the aftermath of getting cursed by the witch, but saved by
Mhm.
Sayaka. And she says that she was sleepwalking with a bunch of other people, and that they had a mass hallucination. Like, that's the only way the doctors can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she said she's fine, and she went to school just to make sure that people wouldn't worry about her. Which Sayaka's like, wow, you're such an honor student for doing that.
You know what? I'm gonna shout out Sen. That whole event sounds very much like the thing in Kafka on the Shore.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep going because I don't think they're connected. But
It's okay. Anyway, even though Sayaka's acting very peppy, Madoka does not look happy.
yeah,
And they have they outside next to a bunch of windmills, which is an
Yes.
interesting.
Are those
visual.
windmills
Yeah, they
or
are.
turbines?
Or what?
Turbines. The what they use to
Oh.
farm electricity.
I
turbines.
didn't. I mean, I
Oh,
meant the
oh,
same
yeah.
thing either way.
yeah. We meant we.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's turbines.
Yeah. So they're out in the grass by all these turbines, and Madoka is very hesitant about this. She really doesn't know how to feel about the fact that Sayaka did this, even though they were talking earlier about how much of a bad idea it was and how they didn't want to do it anymore.
Madoka, you are right. You should
Yeah.
feel bad about
Okay,
this. This is a bad
Sayaka's
thing.
like just full of that whole I wanted to sleep with him
Yeah.
energy. Like
Yeah.
she's just like running her mouth and
Yeah.
talking
it's that-
around any sort of conflicting argument, and it's like, girl, stop.
This is the I'm convincing myself.
Yeah.
There is an element of like reassuring herself here.
Yeah. Well, she
you know,
literally
like-
pats herself on the back. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
It's very...
Yeah, and like she's like, you know what? I feel great. I feel awesome. Oh, I mean, I
Mhm.
guess it was a little scary, but really, if you think about it,
Mhm.
wasn't the witch really easy to beat? This isn't so bad. Like, she's talking to
Yeah.
herself. She's giving herself a monologue here.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, it was just interesting. Like, she keeps going and going and going, and even to the point of like, I should have done this sooner if I had done this sooner because I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Which is like, I should have done it anyway. I should have done it sooner if I was going to do it anyway is a very like...
That's a cursed state.
Like, on one hand, I get where that line of thinking comes from, and certainly there are situations where that would make sense, but
here, not so much.
it almost implies like she still internally feels like this was the rash decision or the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like that. It sounds like the kind of thing I would only say if I felt like I'd made the wrong decision. Like,
Yeah.
you know what, if I was going to do this dumb thing anyway, I should have done it ages ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't feel like the kind of thing you would say about something you were genuinely, like, okay with.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
So,
just as she's saying that, she kind of senses that Madoka starts thinking about Mommy and thinking the same
Mhm.
thing. Like, well, if I had just done it then maybe Mommy wouldn't have died. I was just going to do
Yeah.
it anyway. And Sayaka is quick to kind of try to reassure her, but it feels a little flat.
Yeah.
She says something like, maybe you just weren't meant for it. Or she says something really flimsy.
Yeah, it's very...
Yeah.
Condescending,
Mm-hmm.
really.
It is. Like, it sounds... Because, like, in the last episode, there's, like, that moment where Homura is like, you're not magical girls, so you don't deserve to have the soul gem.
Grief seed.
Right.
When mommy dies. And it's got, like, that kind of smell of it, too. That sense of, like, well, now that I'm a magical girl, I'm part from you.
Yeah.
And, like, there's just that whole sense of, like, a distance. And it feels very like she is flimsily trying to fix things, but also doesn't think she should have to or something. It's just weird. Like, she's a hot mess. Sayaka's a hot mess right now.
She is. She's a very dumb, very good girl.
Yeah, she's made some bad choices here.
Yeah, she has. So Sayaka pieces off because she's gonna go see her not boyfriend. She visits Kyousuke in the hospital, and they're talking, and he tells her, even though his hand has been healed, he still has to do his physical therapy for his legs, and they want to do more testing. For me, I wrote down in my notes, this is the first time the audience starts to wonder, well, why didn't she just heal himself?
This is some misery shit.
Yeah.
This
is
some
like some
misery
shit because the reason that somebody would decide, I can heal him entirely, but I'm not gonna.
I don't want him to be able to run very far.
Yeah. I don't want him to be able to get away from me.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Like, I don't think Sayaka's parsed that out. Like, she's not sitting there, like, thinking, well, if I don't fix his legs, he has to stay with me.
No.
But that's totally what...
That's the unconscious rationale there. Otherwise, she would have just healed him entirely.
Why wouldn't you just wish for him to be in perfect health forever and ever and ever, and no. She wants him
confined.
helpless.
Yeah,
where...
And I think that also underscores the fact that it's that. I agree with you about that. I also think this is part of this theme so far that's getting built of these wishes being split-second decisions that are not thought out very, like, people don't think about it that hard ahead of time.
No.
Part of
she's thought for it for a while, though.
Like, yeah, but she thought about whether she wanted to do it. She didn't think about
not what she was going to do.
Yeah, she knew what she wanted to do.
Pretty much immediately.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Whereas it's kind of the opposite with Madoka. Like, she knows where she knew before she decided not to do it. She knew that she wanted to do it. She just couldn't decide. She couldn't think of something that she wanted enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did also make a note here of another chair moment.
Chair watch.
Yeah.
Do we need chair watch?
No, it goes under the voyeurism ding.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Voyeurism ding.
Another voyeurism ding.
Yeah. This is actually one of the things that I remember we mentioned the chairs beside the hospital bed, and I was like, nope, that doesn't ding because, two chairs.
Yeah, the two chairs in a hospital bed
sitting in front of a hospital bed. That's normal. What we've got going on here is not normal.
And some of these chairs are bizarre, like cursed architecture kind of chairs.
Yeah, like none of them match each other.
No.
There's that pink one that looks like a baseball glove and it has 3 legs.
Yeah, it's just,
It's really strange.
Really makes me wonder about Madoka's mom. Why, like, to me, this is like, okay, why did they choose
if you're going by what these two things have in common, or could have in common, is her mom might be the reason she chooses to become a magical girl or something.
Might be.
That would be the one thing that
the family to get, like, smushed.
Yeah, I've been worried. Yeah, when are they going to die already?
that is an interesting theory. Actually, for the first... See, I will admit, since doing this podcast, I had never actually noticed the chair thing until you guys pointed it out.
You're not supposed to.
No.
You're not supposed to notice it.
So I've been trying to work through it in my head, too, at the same time. And I think at this point, I might have a theory, but I cannot talk about it yet.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put a pin in it for later.
Yeah. So Sayaka is talking to Kyousuke, and she's like, "Oh, I guess it's almost time." And she takes Kyousuke in a wheelchair up to the roof.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's going on? What's happening?" And Kyousuke's parents and I guess his doctor and his nurses are all waiting there, and his dad gives him back his violin. And
I call bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, you told me. I guess I'm getting a little ahead of the video.
No, you're not for us.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just laughing because I'm like, I call bullshit on that many nurses being able to just fuck off to the roof.
Yeah, really. God.
Yeah, like, don't they have somewhere to be?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, cleaning up the poo in the other room.
Yeah,
I don't.
the
that-
doctor,
that-
too.
Yeah. A doctor in a
As if the
hospital?
yeah, really. You don't see doctors in hospitals.
No.
Come on now.
Anyway.
So they give him back his violin, and his dad is like, I know you told me to throw it out, but I just couldn't do it. And he starts playing on his violin. Pretty sure this is Ave Maria.
The only Ave Maria I know is from fucking Evita. I've never heard it. So.
I'm Italian. I've gotten that song up my ass for 30 years.
Man, I didn't know the priests were that kinky.
Shit.
So as Sayaka is watching him play the violin, she starts thinking to herself, like, Mommy, do you see this? This is amazing. And this is the happiest moment of my life, and I know for sure I'm never going to regret this, and I'm so happy that I did this.
The imagery with the
with,
no
like,
way
with
I'd
the
ever
sun behind her,
the
but it
eye
looks
of
like-
fucking Sauron behind you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like a fucking explosion is behind her or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like,
like-
oh my
like-
god, so...
The sun is
Ugh.
setting in this scene, and the way that moment is shot, it's framed like with her silhouette behind like the fiery yellow sky.
It's not even just
Well, I mean,
fiery and
it's
yellow.
enough
the
that it's a
same
setting sun.
It's the same shape
Yeah.
as the eyes
Yeah.
that we keep on seeing opening and closing
Yeah,
on the
true.
screen.
Like, it's just
fucking
bad enough that
messed
it's
up.
her being like, I'm so happy, set against a setting sun. Like, that sure is
Mm-hmm.
ominous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girl.
Yeah, so after that scene, we switch over to Kyoko, who is our red-haired girl from earlier.
Yes.
She is in like an observation room of some kind of building, and she's using her soul gem to use binoculars. I guess like steal a use of the binoculars, like without having to pay for it.
Nice.
Oh my god, she's such an icon. I love her.
And she's spying on what's going on the roof of the hospital. And she's like, "Oh, is that the girl? That's the new magical girl?" And Kyubei is there. And
Yeah.
Kyubei is like, "Are you going to pick a fight with her?" And Kyoko's like,
yeah.
"Not really, but do you have a problem
Yeah.
with it if I do?" And Kyubei says, "Not at all."
Because of course he does.
Of course he does.
What a piece of
And-
trash.
Yeah. And he's like, "But you should know that there's another magical girl here, and I don't know what's going on with her." And Hyoko's like, "How is that possible? Like, didn't she have to make a contract with you in order to be a magical girl?" And Kyubei says the most...
Ominous.
It's not ominous. It's like, he dodges the question so hard. Like, he's like, "You could say that. You could also not say that."
It's so, like,
Yeah.
right. So, I, like, at this point, I have, like, a pet theory about Homura.
Okay.
I've been playing this, like, fucking garbage romance called The Arcana for, like, a couple weeks now because I have no self-control. So I've been playing this game, and in this game, like, a major plot point is that a bunch of people make a contract with the devil, because I can't last 10 minutes without bringing that shit into it. But one of the characters, like, basically uses their wish to, like, make everybody forget that this happened and, like, start over or whatever.
Yep.
And, like, I feel like that might be something like what she did, like, her, like, for Kyubei to be like, well, yes and no, is very, like, I get the impression that whatever she wished for or whatever she did, she maybe, like, started something over, started a cycle over, or erased everyone's memories of how this panned out the first time, or some shit like that.
Some
Like,
kind of weird, because
there's something fucked up about her
what's
wish.
gonna happen here.
yeah.
And, I mean, I've been saying
Yeah.
it from the first episode. Whatever it is that she's got going on, she's right about it.
Whatever she
Kyubei
knows
knows
about
it
this
too, and he
system,
just
she had to
confirmed it.
survive whatever cycle it goes through to
Right.
know what happened. Like, I don't think that someone just walked up to her and told her, oh, here's Madoka spoilers. She had to have gone through this to know why it's so bad.
That's
so,
why she cares about Madoka, is because she knew Madoka through this, whatever happened.
Yeah. Like,
That's-
she's super intent on Madoka not being... And, then we start jerking off about how Madoka is the strongest potential magical girl because of this comes up, I guess, a minute later, where it's made clear that the nature of their wish in some way informs their powers.
Right.
Which makes me think that Madoka's powers and her potential are going to come in part from, like, some fucking purity of her wish or some crap or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting the impression, like, Homura has in some way gotten to, like, repeat the cycle.
However she's done it, she somehow knows what's up ahead.
Yeah, she just kind of keeps showing up at just the right time and intervening in just the right way.
Her magic is vanishing, as far as I can tell.
She definitely has insider information.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm like, I can't figure out why she would have that kind of information aside from that she's done this before. Because this has a very
I don't want to engage in that theory too much.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I could give it away. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, that's my pet theory.
One
and
thing
because
before we get too far away from it, I want to just talk about why the observation tower is not a voyeurism ding.
Okay.
Right.
It is not a voyeurism ding because it is active within the plot.
Oh, it's not symbolism.
Right. It's not just something happening in the ambient that nobody seems to engage with. Because nobody sits in the chairs, nobody
bothers themselves about the glass cage classrooms or the
that shot where you're under the chairs, like looking at their legs? That's not like, Kyube's point of view or something.
No,
it's the viewer's
it's the viewer's point of view.
Yeah, true.
But the observation tower is active within the plot insofar as Kyoko is using the binoculars. She's using her magic on them so that she can see what's going on the other roof, and that basically makes it into, whether or not it's a huge plot element, it is a plot element.
Yeah.
Therefore,
I can see that. It's not really symbolism. It's not something happening in the background. It's not...
Yeah.
No.
So I just wanted to explain that because that's how I'm telling whether things are symbolism.
That's how we're separating them.
It's actually kind of a stringent definition of symbolism that I'm using because a lot of the time symbolism can be things that are active within the plot, but I'm using the stringent definition because otherwise, holy shit, we would be here all day with always windows everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so in the next scene, Homura meets up with Madoka at the same fast food place at the mall. And basically Madoka has invited her here to ask Homura to be friends with Sayaka. Because she's worried about Sayaka and she remembers how Homura and Mommy didn't get along, and maybe if they had got along, Mommy wouldn't have died, and she wants to avoid that. That's basically what Madoka is doing here. And Homura is, like, not interested. She's very cold, and she says, Sayaka might be a good person, but those qualities aren't good for magical girls. It makes you careless, and it makes you sloppy, and it makes you...
Hang on, one second. She's got witch script on her ring.
Do they all have witch script on their ring?
Do they all have witch script on their ring?
Because I haven't caught...
I actually don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to have to watch for some close-up shots of rings.
That's messed up. Not only is her ring one that we have not seen a stone on, maybe we just haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also the only one I see that has witch script on it.
Interesting. I'll have to see if I can find a screenshot for that for the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the whole, like, if she... Yikes.
Also, what's with the fingernail things? Like,
I don't know.
I didn't notice it before, but Vanna pointed it out to me. They've all got something on... Is it their middle fingernail?
It's their middle finger because they're wearing their rose crests on the wrong finger.
Rose crest.
Look, how different is this really thematically?
Again, Oscar will die if we don't make... Oscar will die if we don't make
Yes,
Utena
we do
references.
need to make Utena references at determined intervals.
Yes.
Very important life support.
Very important, yes.
So, another thing I like about this scene is that as Homura is, like, shit-talking the idea of being a good person, she's like, that's why Mommy Tomoe fell to her, found her end. And as she's referencing Mommy, she, like, takes the top off of her coffee, which is so...
Yeah, it's so dark. I love that shot. I was actually, like, this sequence does, like, really illustrate super well something I'm really loving about this show. And that, like, you'll have, like, your master shot, like, them, like, pulled away, right? And the way that they communicate, you know, feelings and body language and stuff is that they'll randomly insert very intricately animated shots from all kinds of different angles. Like, in this case, like, there's one where Madoka kind of looks away, but in the next shot, it doesn't look like she's done that. Yeah. Or, you know, she'll be like, you'll see her hands, like, fidgeting with the couch. And I like how they use these insert shots against, like, a cleaner, like, undisturbed master to almost use the body language to convey a subconscious reaction. Like, it's there, but it's not there, almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really nice visual language that I like a lot, and it's, like, it's a credit to, like, the storyboarders and stuff. That's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely great.
This, I really find the way this scene closes out to be very interesting. So, Madoka comes out and says, you know, please be friends with Sayaka. I don't want anybody to die, and I think it'd be better if you work together. And Homura says, listen, I don't make a habit of telling lies. I don't make promises that I can't keep. So let me just say right now that you should completely forget about Sayaka.
Like, yikes, girl.
Yikes.
I need to talk about that for a second. Actually, also in conjunction with that line, I don't know, is it at this point or slightly later where she says, basically, treat her as if she's dead?
Yeah.
Which looks a lot like what happened, doesn't it?
She says she can't come back for making a contract, so she might as well be dead at this point.
Yeah.
Again, with the idea that Homura somehow knows what's coming up ahead, basically this confirms something I've kind of been thinking.
Yeah.
Well, not really confirms, but adds another piece of information onto that pile.
Yeah.
Which is, I think they're going to get picked off one by one right up until the end, and I don't think Madoka's going to make a contract until the end of the show.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It is really weird that we've gotten this far without her making the contract, so I feel kind of like, well,
like,
at
in
this
a storytelling sense, then if you're saving it for this long...
You're saving it for... Kind of like Sabrina.
You're probably going to be saving it for the end. And...
I can see
also
that.
a very deep television show. Very, very deep.
Sabrina is definitely deep. Hashtag deep.
You're talking about the new one on Netflix?
Yeah.
I have not
Riverdale for goth people.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not in either of those Venn diagrams, but I'd probably
still like that's probably for the best. Anyway.
That's my theory for now.
Yeah,
and
we'll see
whether... But the pile in that one is growing larger and larger.
Yeah. So the next scene is in Sayaka's room. And Sayaka is trying to psych herself up to get ready to...
This is it. This is the triple shot. This is the triple voyeurism ding.
Oh, how many looks at
mirrors?
Her skirt do we need, guys?
Like, she's standing in front of... Oh, yeah, you're right. Look at this shot right here.
Yeah. Like, how many sets? And then, like, you see, like, his little tentacles, but you don't know which way they're pointing. Like, they kind of trick you. But the tentacles are, like, reaching right after a shot of her thighs 3 times over.
So we got chairs.
Thanks, I hate it.
We got windows, and we've got mirrors. This is the
mirrors, and then another mirror on the wall.
Triple voyeurism ding right there. Like, we got a hat trick, boys.
Guys, man. Yeah. That is a sequence. Like, and the talking to yourself in front of the mirror to psych yourself up is... It wouldn't be such a mood if it's not being made abundantly clear already that she isn't taking this as well as she thinks she is, or is trying to act like she is.
Yeah.
Like...
Now, do we get a fourth ding here because Kyubey is technically watching her?
I would say so. No, I'm going to say so because of the first shot you see of Kyubey is those tentacle things mimicking the, like, sequence. No, it's mimicking the same shot as what you see when he's reaching to get her soul gem. And in both cases, they look creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
I honestly,
There's a tentacle thing going. Like,
I'm going more stringent than that.
All right.
Like, for me, I wouldn't count that just because it's a character, therefore it's an active part of the show.
But it is still, like, a super creepy
It is very creepy,
sequence.
don't get me wrong. It's
So-
just like I said, I gotta keep this down
Alright,
so that
we're
I'm not bombarded.
Okay.
So when Sayaka leaves to go hunt witches, it is like a tongue twister between those two words in English.
Yeah.
I promise you that I don't think that's like an intentional plot related spoiler. It's just wish is ugh.
No.
Anyway, so Madoka is waiting for Sayaka to leave, and she's like, I probably would just get in the way, but I really want to go with you when you hunt witches. And Sayaka's like actually relieved because she didn't really want to go by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, sure, yeah, come on ahead. And fucking Kyousuke has like a private, I guess it's a private mind conversation with her because we don't get any kind of reaction from Sayaka.
Yeah,
But
it is.
Kyuube's like-
It's pretty clearly private.
Yeah, Kyuube's like, I know you're worried about Sayaka. I know why you're coming. I know that if you come and you have to, you'll become
You'll
a
make a
magical girl to
contract.
save her if you have to. Like, he's being so
No, but
sinister.
yeah, it's so
Oh,
This
man,
is
it's
actually
so
sinister.
creepy.
There's like no cute music in the background. This is like
No,
actually,
it's-
Mhm.
yeah.
full on sinister. Like, oh, you have a plan, don't you? And your plan is that you will become a magical girl to save your friend.
Kyousuke just makes me feel dirtier and dirtier as this goes along, really. It's just, it's
You know, now
not-
that I've seen like tentacle porn Kyousuke, I might want to fuck him after all.
Oh, fuck
Ah,
you!
come on.
Oh!
I'm joking. I am joking, but holy shit, come on. This is just
This is, like, it's
he's
seriously
so
getting
sinister.
gross.
Yeah. Also, they're on a bridge again as Madoka's
Bridge
telling
watch.
Sayaka.
Yep, bridge.
Should we have a bridge ding?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't
yeah,
know.
like the whole like even like the zooming into his eye and the
Yeah.
it's so
Oh, yeah. Yep. I forgot about that recursive eye zooming business.
Which is interesting because she still has no freaking clue what she's going to wish for,
Yeah.
and she's flirting with disaster anyway. Like, she keeps putting herself in these situations where she might have to. Oh, also,
hey.
so they're walking across this bridge, and you see traffic coming up and down,
Yeah.
and I made, like, this joke, like, holy shit, every driver in the city is a complete douchebag, because it's like a because it's like a 5 or 6 lane highway, and they're all next to each other.
They're all driving
is-
in a straight horizontal
Yeah,
line.
so that nobody can pass them, which is rude as balls. But now that I'm thinking of it,
Why the fuck would they have done that?
that's
Like,
a kind of, that's an interesting, like, nobody can pass you. Like, I don't know, it just
like, basically,
yeah.
we're at an impasse.
yeah,
kind of.
you know,
thing.
interposed with, like, what's going on and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
It was, like, originally, like, a throwaway joke, but the more I think about
But
it, the
that's
less
the kind of thing-
accidental that
yeah.
kind of thing is. Like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
normally draw 5 cars in a row side by side.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like,
repeatedly.
I had written that off as just being like a weird visual for that bridge
Yeah.
moment, but I like the
Yeah.
idea that it's like we're at an impasse and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how they do this. That's
Yeah.
that's how, every time something goes off in the back of your head and you go, "Huh, that's weird." That's something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
The visual language and stuff in the show is really great. It does a good job of getting across, like, the feeling without you actually having to sort it out.
Right.
Like, that's like the kind of thing, like, you could probably watch the show for the rest of your life and never, like, parse that out, but your subconscious does.
Yeah,
your brain
like,
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things are not meant to be picked up on consciously while you're watching the show. The
Right, we're just kind of
experience-
we're obviously sitting here and talking about each episode.
Yeah, we're
for an hour,
analyzing it,
so-
but-
yeah.
Mhm.
So
it's go
So,
ahead.
yeah.
okay, so they eventually wander into an alleyway and they find a familiar, not a witch. And this alleyway is it basically turns into like a paper and crayon and papercraft labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
With, stickers and cutouts of animals. It's very cutesy. And this familiar's name this is a familiar, not a witch.
Mhm.
The familiar's name is Anja. I guess it's sort of a spoiler, but this witch does not appear in the show, but she does appear in the PSP game.
Okay.
The witch's name is Albertine, but this is just the familiar. The familiar's name is Anja.
Oh
Okay.
my god! Oh my god! I just noticed that Madoka's bows give her cat earrings when she's in
They
or
do.
cat ears when she's in silhouette.
Right. Okay. So real quick.
Ah.
Real quick with her transformation sequence.
Wait.
Try to pause on her belly button thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I, lost my goddamn mind when I saw that.
Okay, hold on. It's coming up.
And why don't you pull up the whatever it was that you were looking at?
Well, I have it on my phone.
Well, then, if you've got it on your phone, then...
Well, she probably knows what they are, or maybe.
I don't know. I didn't know what they were.
All right, I paused it on her belly button.
Okay. So, there's this, little thing in her belly button, which, thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of that.
Well,
it just is really...
so, I looked at it and I, lost my mind because I recognized the shape from an anime called Blue Seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's, 200,000 years old and terrible as far as I remember. I don't remember any salient point about this except that I think it was semi-tentacle porny.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think I remember that one.
It wasn't explicit hentai, but it was Showtime anime kind of. Anyway,
this has nothing to do with the actual symbol.
But the symbol was part of its logo, and a major plot point was this things that were this shape called blue seeds.
Okay.
So I followed, and they're called Magatama.
And we've just popped the link.
I just popped a link in for you.
Oh, yeah, I know Magatama.
Yeah. Her belly button thing is a Magatama, so
that's pretty
cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, actually.
Actually,
I've never noticed that.
When she pointed it out to me, I was like, "Oh God, you're gonna go for the yonic symbolism, aren't you?"
I know. No. Well,
no.
It's such an icon because it looks very embryonic. That's the shape is very.
I agree with you now that I've seen them.
Yeah.
The Blue Seed one really didn't make it very, very clear what they looked like, but no.
I think that's a deliberate nod to whatever, to those. So.
Yeah, I can see that. I always just thought of it as a moon shape.
I wonder why one of us would be inclined to think of one of these things and the other.
I'm a basic bitch, and I just see what's
You're
in
a
front
Sailor
of my face.
Moon.
Yeah.
No, you're a Sailor Moon bitch.
But I don't know. Why do you think it's creepy that it's on her belly button? I don't think it's that bad.
Okay, it's because it's a 14-year-old with belly button jewelry, which is side-eye.
I would side-eye a 14-year-old girl with belly button jewelry. Just where are your parents, young lady?
Yeah, it just feels fucking really?
Especially if it's something that big and flashy like that.
Girl, what's wrong with your belly button that fits?
Yeah, well, there's that.
No, it's their soul gems sometimes go on their skin, Homura's is on the back of her hand.
Yeah, no, and I get that. It's just the placement of it is
yeah,
really...
we just kind of cringed with the first. It was
yeah,
okay.
I mean,
all right,
but yeah, but it is definitely those, this bead thing.
Things.
So
I can understand that. So basically, so here is the description of the familiar Anja.
Okay.
The scribbling witch's minion, whose duty is to be naive. She is a lost familiar who was separated from the witch while playing alone, absorbed in her daydreams. She possesses the ability to transform humans into balls. A human who has been transformed into a ball cannot revert to human form until he bounces against the ground once for each lie that he has ever uttered.
Oh, wow, that's not appropriate to this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you watch the familiar, she's it's like a child's drawing of a girl with pigtails. And she's riding in a plane, and then the plane turns into a boat, and then it turns into a train or a car or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's about lies.
Oh shit! One thing I forgot to mention: every single fucking time I saw Sayaka's transformation, she's surrounded by musical notes.
Yeah, the musical notes,
and I think that's foreshadowing for what we find out later, which is that her wish has more impact. On her than she I think that's foreshadowing.
It does kind of foreshadow that as a plot point.
I'm
kind of
I mean, you guys already know about this part, but I'm pretty sure that's why Mommy was good at being alone.
Yeah.
Because she wished to keep herself alive. Right?
Yeah.
So I
could definitely see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why apparently she is more powerful when she is by herself.
Yeah.
I that's my theory, at least.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Because, they have, the kind of obvious consequence of, what her power is going to be, but it also has, kind of the side consequences, neither good nor bad, but...
Right.
just like ripple effects that go out based on what you wished for and things like that.
Right,
so
right.
I could definitely see her solitude being part of what strengthens her.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, that's straight up said.
Yeah.
By
Yeah, it is.
Gendo Urobuchi, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's it.
So yikes. Okay.
So
Yeah,
Sayaka starts throwing swords at the familiar, and she is interrupted by a noodly spear that comes out of nowhere and knocks the swords away. And
oh, great.
the
Now we get to hear
familiar
a
escapes.
rant.
What an icon.
Oh my god. Okay, so you might as well just launch into your rant now.
Which one? What, Magical Girl Asuka?
The familiar escaped, and now
Right.
Sayaka's gonna get chewed out.
I literally have already made that rant on this podcast. I'm 100% sure I have already said something about this.
Wait, no, I haven't heard this.
You said something about this.
Okay, so like this whole time they've been like the moment mommy goes, oh yeah, you know, you destroy the familiars because they can grow into witches, and then it's like, ooh, if you kill a witch you get a grief seed. I'm like, this sounds like a fucking terrible idea. Why don't you wait until they become witches? Because you have to fight them anyway. Mm-hmm. If the grief seeds are useful and important and enrich you, I would say wait till the bitch hatches and then go get it. Like, why do all of this work for half of the benefit? You could be farming this. This could be like Farmville for grief seeds.
You are Kyoko.
And then Kyoko just, And then Kyoko shows up and that's like the first thing out of her mouth. And I'm like, icon, thank you.
Actually, this calls back to another kind of comment that we had to each other, which is that the uniforms, the characters that you chose to portray as are ending up being
very much like
very,
us.
very similar to us. And I think the fact that we kind of picked up on it, I went, oh, I want to be Homura, and she was like, I want to be Kyoko.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we picked up on them is definitely due to good design.
Yeah, it's a real credit to the design that it conveys their personality so well.
Yeah,
especially for the two of us, because we don't exactly speak Magical Girl.
Yeah.
And it came across well anyway.
When I made myself Madoka, that was also intentional for those very same reasons.
I figured. I figured, but I can't comment on it yet because I don't know her arc, so.
I love her, and she's a good girl.
I'm sure she is. Okay. But it is some really good design that their personalities are so evident that we're like, I'm that one, and I'm that one. And so far that has proven
very true.
I am definitely the one that's like, how come you're not farming these fucking things?
And I'm definitely the one sitting here going, okay, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. So
and I'm the one who's trying to give everything the benefit of the doubt. And
welcome to our podcast.
Pretty much what it says on the box.
Yeah.
So,
as advertised.
Anyway, yes, Kyoko is here, and she's like, she basically starts lecturing her, like, what the hell are you doing? You're wasting magic on beating a familiar. You have to let it eat a few people, and then it turns into a witch, and then when you get it, you'll get a grief seed, and then you can use it to restore your magic, so that's not how this works, rookie. You're being a dumbass. And
which is valid.
Yeah, and Sayaka just immediately dives right into her sanctimonious approach to this entire thing, where she's like, well, how could you... I mean, I say sanctimonious, but she's also right. Like, they're both right in different ways.
They both have different points to make.
Yeah, like, Sayaka's like, how could you let people die
Your goal is to not let people die.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like they're both wrong, in a way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they're both wrong because in neither case do we know what the actual purpose of their being there is anyway, so you can't really say which one is right.
Okay, so on the one hand, Sayaka is wrong because obviously if you don't do some amount of farming these things, you won't ever be strong enough to kill them, because it seems like there are more witches and familiars and such, especially because familiars can break off of a witch and be their own thing.
Right. That
one magical girl, just like mathematically speaking, is eventually going to get her shit pushed in. But Kyoko is also wrong, Because if you feed these things, that gives them the chance to create more familiars, to create more witches, and ends up, on the whole, if I'm right about the fact that when a magical girl dies, she becomes a witch, that just is creating a landslide over time.
The reason that they're both right
wrong, but
is
there's no way to get out of the cycle.
they're answering different questions.
Yeah.
Because Sayaka's question is like, how do I do the
right
least
thing.
damage? Yeah, how do I create the best outcome for the most people? And Kyoko's invested in her not dying. And also having power, because she like uses her power for like weird shit, which is just so amazing. And
But I'm speaking in like a global sense.
Yeah.
They're both wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Both of them are wrong.
They're both kind of misguided.
But
in
there
way.
is no right. So it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna side with Kyoko, protect your own
especially if I'm right about this whole magical girls becoming witches somehow.
Yeah.
Like when they grow up or when they die or whatever.
I have a feeling even if Kyoko thought that or knew that, it would not change how she acts very much.
Not.
She's like, Kyoko is like, she isn't fazed by the idea of the witches eating people at all. She's like, listen, you got it wrong. We're at the top of the food chain now, and then the witches are below us, and then below the witches are the humans. So
I know, I love her.
Like, it's just normal for the weaklings to get eaten by the stronger ones. Like, that's her perspective.
And it's got all those shots of her eating the taiyaki.
Yeah, she's constantly eating.
It's
yeah.
just, I love that.
I think her going in theme with her being like me. Her wish was to eat and eat and eat and never get fat. That's
no.
Oh my god!
Wish.
I would totally wish that. I would.
Because I'm like watching her. Like Jesus, watching this show makes me hungry because she's constantly stuffing her face.
But no,
she's Brad Pitt.
She's the one. She's definitely the one who made a wish for somebody else. Definitely, she made an altruistic wish for somebody else. I'm calling it.
And she's not happy with that decision.
No, she's not. She's incredibly bitter about it.
You know what she kind of looks like sometimes? That chick in Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway.
She's got a particularly 1990s look to her hairstyle.
That may be why I kind of like her. It feels more familiar to me.
Oh,
but
Kyoko does the Shaft thing where she looks behind herself while tipping her head like weirdly to the side. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a meme.
It
anyway,
is.
So Kyoko's basically picking a fight with Sayaka, and she puts up a barrier to keep Madoka from interfering with them. And Sayaka is just falling for all of the bait. She's getting angrier and angrier at all of the antagonistic things that Kyoko is saying. And and she pretty much just throttles Sayaka.
Owned.
Yeah. Sayaka slams into the wall and a pipe breaks and now there's water everywhere and this is the part where you mentioned where Sayaka gets up and she has like all the music notes around her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
it's very
because apparently Kyoko's like, how are you standing up right now? That should have like put you in the hospital. And apparently because Sayaka made a wish to heal someone else, she has healing powers. Like she can heal herself faster.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool thing it would have been to mention the nature of your wish informing your capacity to defend
But of course,
yourself.
Kyubey is not going to do that. But
Yeah,
I have a Kyubey.
What do
I
you
have
mean,
a Kyubey rant.
transparency? Are you crazy?
Like
I
you don't even have like a 3-fold pamphlet on how to be a magical girl that you give to these girls.
Yeah.
I have a big Kyubey rant coming.
Oh.
This episode or in a future episode?
This episode.
This
episode.
You can go on.
You're gonna get another. You're gonna get another one next
Okay.
episode.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so Kyubey straight up says, "I can't stop them," or whatever it is that he's like, "Oh, nobody can stop them from fighting now. They're both set on it."
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. That is 1000% bullshit. Because those girls see him as an authority figure, and if he said no, they would stop. He could have
very
chosen to
disinterested
say
in
no.
preventing them from fighting.
Okay,
I
Once
agree
it
with
got
you.
to a certain point, okay, they're gonna fight. But he could have said no any time before that. Before the point where they were both committed to the fight. He could have said no at any point, and one or both would have stopped and been like,
Oh shit.
all right, fine, I'll get you next time.
Especially
or do
because,
some
way back in,
posturing or whatever.
episode 2, Sayaka is the one that reacts the most strongly to this idea. She reacts very strongly to when Mommy's like, yeah, sometimes the magical girls fight. And she's like,
Yeah.
that's insane. Why would you do that? And here she is
exactly.
just,
Yeah, exactly.
picking a fight.
If Kyousuke had given her a reality check and been like, no, don't do this,
you're wasting your energy.
she would have walked back. Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get in a fight with her. What I'm saying is Kyuube's pretending not to have any power in the situation whatsoever when he's the person with the most power in the situation. He is the person with the most ability to stop what's going on at any given point in this show.
To play devil's advocate, however.
I hate him. Anyway.
To play devil's advocate. Just a term I use totally facetiously. If your goal is to make these girls fight witches, any use or exhaustion of their resources behooves you. They're wasting their magical girl energy on fighting each other, and now they're going to have to go get more grief seeds to cure themselves. So in that sense, he gains nothing by stopping them fighting and gains quite a bit in utility by letting all of these girls bicker and fight among each other. Yes, but
he's a utilitarian. Yeah. Like... he's just straight up...
I don't think that Kyousuke wants to lead the magical girls. He doesn't want to take sides between them. He doesn't want to favor one magical girl over the other. Like, does that make sense? Like, like that's not really his role. He's not really...
Whoever's shoulder he's on at that moment seems to be the one he's, like...
is looking out
aligned with. But he's constantly on a different shoulder, and now he's on Madoka's, which is...
big
telling.
Yeah.
Well, and also,
I can see that.
Here's the thing.
We know by the end of this episode that he tries to use this fight to get Madoka to make a contract.
I know, and it's so like, oh my god, just stop.
He's like, Madoka, you can stop them if you want.
You can stop this?
All you have to do is make a contract, and you can step in here and do something about it. And Madoka's actually about to do it.
I know. He's like he's such a used car salesman. So
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. We need a stand gif.
A stand gif?
Yes.
Yeah. This is this character in Monkey Island that's a used car salesman.
Can you search just tag gif on the end of that?
And like this whole time when between me and her, whenever we're talking about Kyousuke, we're literally imagining this guy.
Yep.
There you go. So yeah,
that's just a still. Never mind.
But like this is literally Kyousuke. Kyousuke is this asshole. What have you image?
I'm Stan of Stan's previously owned vessels.
Yes.
This
is Kyousuke in our head. Whenever we think of Kyousuke, this is what we see.
It's literally what we're seeing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, please stop.
No,
You're looking at your phone at such an angle that I can see it when I just look by you.
All right, I'm sorry.
At least face it so that I can't look at it accidentally. Oh my god.
Keppi dies!
I mean...
Snape kills Keppi?
Snape kills Keppi!
Snape kills Keppi. That's the name of this episode.
Snape kills Keppi? I feel like Snape would definitely kill Keppi. Sees his butthole like, nope. Done.
One look at that Kappa anus and he would just be like, no.
Whatever's going on here, I ain't doing this.
Smush that and
forget it.
So Sayaka getting fucking owned here.
Yeah, Sayaka is getting owned. Then she accuses Kyoko of like being the reason that Mommy died, and Kyoko actually gets a bit annoyed with that. And it's not really spoilers for this, but there is a whole side story about Kyoko and Mommy and how they and how they knew each other. So we'll eventually get to that. And basically, so like we were saying, Kyousuke is being a manipulator, and Madoka is just about to make a wish to get them to stop fighting. All of a sudden,
fucking Kyousuke.
Our goth girl, Homura Akemi, shows up, does her teleportation power to basically split them up and break up the fight. Also, I love that shot of Kyoko in the air with like her one eye glowing. So cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love her.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gushing.
I was just going to say that's the end of the episode, but please gush. If you want to gush, please gush.
No, I just like how she's, like, clearly she's not a villain. Like, she's not a villain in the sense of, like, I'm evil, per se.
She's selfish.
She's a selfish thought, but, like...
But that's why I say that
is Toga a villain, though?
Yes.
Is he, though? I wouldn't say that.
Yes.
Us Toga fans wouldn't say that.
He's...
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
hey! Who the hell are you think you're talking to here?
You know what I mean, though. Like...
Yeah, no, he's not in it to do evil, necessarily.
He's in it to save his own ass, which seems to be where Kyoko is about life.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying she's probably the precedent, and that's probably why she's the one to fight
Toga's
Sayaka
the precedent
first.
for the same thing.
Wow.
He sacrificed something for someone else. He's been a bitter dick about it.
Wait, I don't remember this part.
Oh,
of Utena.
Boy.
Well, I mean, you can cut this out if you want, or whatever. But so the story as described by Enokito is like the backstory for Toga and Nanami.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, is that they were sold to the same person, the same family, and Toga basically deliberately put himself in harm's way. Like, basically, he went and
became a willing participant. Yeah, became a willing participant.
Wait, I remember
to keep him. To keep him away from Nanami.
Yeah,
and he's the way he is basically on a sacrifice that was actually very.
So
decent.
Maybe not as
off-center,
really gross undertones, but
yeah,
Kyoko does have that kind of same energy where it's like, yeah, I did that thing.
I did an altruistic thing and it totally backfired, so I'm never doing that shit again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
fuck that.
And again, that's why I say that it's her and Sayaka that fight first, because that's the kind of thematic thing that I would definitely just stomp the shit out of if I was writing this.
Yeah, I like that a lot though. Like, but she does not come. She's a selfish bitch, and she's like totally willing to kill these people and stuff. But you don't get the like. She's not the villain here. She's not the. No, she's not a bad.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, she's not a good person.
They're having a clash of thought here.
Yeah, they're having a disagreement, but in neither case can you really be like, okay, but this person is just actively evil and terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's subjectivism versus humanism.
She's Asuka.
Kyoko's gonna pull out Ayn Rand and start reading Atlas Shrugged.
No.
I can see it.
I will say I like Kyoko a lot more than I like Asuka.
Yeah, well,
listen,
don't you say that about Asuka.
I know. I'm sorry. I've said before that I am not an Evangelion fan. So to a certain degree, I do not get Asuka. But
no,
to any
she's a very similar trope.
Yeah, to the extent that I can find things to enjoy in Evangelion, Asuka is maybe the character that I find the most insufferable in the whole show.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. I can definitely see it.
But the funny thing is, like, Asuka, Kyoko, and Toga are all in the same family here.
They are.
Of redheads with some issues.
I would compare
They tend to have red hair.
I would compare Asuka more to Shiori. Like I hate them both for the similar reasons.
That's
I could see that.
That's fair. Yeah, personally, I just stand Asuka because she's got that one really baller fight that is literally the only thing that I watch in Evangelion.
Yeah.
I've seen Evangelion twice. I'm not going to watch it anymore. But when that
fight
she'll show up
to watch that, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. But they do, like, it's all similar tropes, and from what I understand about Sailor Moon, this would be Sailor Mars in the anime.
Yeah, who is also somebody
who is also the red person. Who is also the red person.
Yeah, and also one of my least favorite characters.
There you go.
Like
so
mean people. I don't like
these people all went to the same finishing school that Amanda does not like. Yeah. Clearly.
How the hell do you like Toga if you don't like mean people?
Yeah, that is weird.
What the
listen,
fuck?
If you listen to my Imagine Me and Utena,
I gotta go
episodes,
listen to this now.
The reason I like Toga is movie Toga, and
okay, never mind then.
And because I have a ghost fetish.
Oh,
all right, that's valid. Okay. I was about to jump down your throat, but that I'll take that.
She's like, oh, your Vajubers involved. I'm good with this. It's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna get into a whole fight about that, but no, I get that.
Yeah, I really
and Movie
like
Toga
Movie
is
Toga.
very pretty.
Yeah, he's
very pretty,
and that's the version that makes it explicit, like his whole sexual assault background.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's like the only thing you can safely take home from the movie and connect to the TV show. Anyway,
well, I mean, it's basically in the TV show, but you just have to
subtext,
know how people act to figure it out.
Yeah,
nobody who is going through that much sex in high school is
started out there.
They're not a well person.
If you're doing that much fucking that early,
no,
that's not where you started fucking.
Nope, it sure isn't.
But yeah.
Anyway, are you still alive there, Oscar? Are you still with us, Oscar?
Did you make it? See, tell Oscar that yes, we had a fairly decent pause there in the Utena reference, but we ended it with extended toga shit, so it's fine, Oscar. We did it for you.
Anyway,
if you
guys had one wish for this episode, what would you wish for?
Taiyaki.
Taiyaki.
You want taiyaki?
Oh fuck yeah!
Well, I do want taiyaki, but I think if I had one wish for this episode, it would be. I wish there was a witch.
Where's my wish? I want witches.
Yeah,
more
witches are so cool.
witch.
There's not enough
more
witches
trippy shit.
Yeah, not enough witches in this episode.
I'm sad.
Yes,
I'm extreme sad face because no witch.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's
very
pretty solid episode, and
like the fight is actually really visceral and looks really cool.
Yeah,
but it's not a witch one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Actually, though, I do have to say one thing about the fight. I cannot look at their weapons, the tips of their weapons pointing together and the big ball of light forming without thinking of Harry Potter and Voldemort.
Yeah, that is so cliche. I am not
It's such a cliche.
that was dumb when I was a kid, and it was in Dragon Ball Z. Every single story arc ending, and Dragon Ball Z ended with that kind of image. It got so old so fast.
It's so true. It's one thing to jump a shark, and it's another thing to like jump the entire species in aggregate, and that's what that shot does.
Yeah.
Like it's just so.
This
is anime.
If I had one wish for this episode, I would wish for anyone, to start asking questions.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I mean, we can get into this later, but this is the point where, like this episode specifically, if I remember correctly, is the part in the show when I first watched it where I started to go, hold on a second. Why didn't Sayaka just wish to heal all of him? Why didn't Kyubei mention
but we have an answer for that one.
Yeah, why didn't Kyubei just mention that the nature of your wish affects your powers? Why didn't this? Why didn't this? Why didn't Kyoko ask Kyubei what he meant by Homura did have a contract and also didn't have a contract? Like, this is the part in the show where I'm starting to be like, okay.
Okay, but I actually have an answer for that.
Okay.
Given my extremely large body of knowledge on this crap, that is a convention of the Faustian bargain.
Oh, I completely agree with you.
Like,
and that's,
like it's such a trope of that.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to talk about later. Like, when we get later into the show and there's fewer spoilers to have to dodge.
For us to stumble.
I have some stuff to say when it comes to that. Yeah. But when I first watched the show, this is the point where I was like, all right.
Okay.
Kyubei, you're starting to say creepy things without the cute music in the background. What's going on here?
But it's totally like the whole, like, why don't you ask questions? And it's because they don't want to know the answer.
And because...
That's,
Yeah, and I guess this isn't really spoilers, but also, like, Kyubei is strategically picking people that he suspects are not going to ask questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like the devil does.
Yeah, exactly. If you're someone who asks questions, he's not going to go after you because he knows better.
Not useful.
Yeah.
Well, I will never be a magical girl.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd like to say I'm
No.
smarter than that, but I would absolutely not be smarter than that.
Yeah.
I'd fall for
should
it.
we check for Curious Cat questions? Because
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I did tweet out asking people to send us some if they were interested. Oh my god, we got a ton.
What the fuck? I like how we're like, wait, what?
Well,
That was very helpful.
Alright.
Okay, let's see.
well, we can always save a couple for next time.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Anonymous asked, does Madoka's mom peg her dad?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say yes.
Absolutely.
That's what all those chairs are for. The spectators.
Spectators.
That's their king.
All right, Anon. All right, Anon. There you go. We did one dirty joke just for you.
Just one.
Yeah, give me a second to read some more of these. Panda can
Yep.
edit out this silence.
The
here.
pauses.
Yeah. First of all, we have another shitpost from Sen.
Mhm.
Sen says, how do you like the opening song? Would any of you three be willing to sing it for us? I nominate Giovanna.
Nope.
All right. Denied.
I don't sing.
Well, I mean, are we answering these things now? Because I would pay to hear that.
I'm not gonna sing.
Are we answering these things now, or are we just choosing which questions to
I
answer?
think we're choosing.
Okay, so
Okay.
Oh, here's a good question for us to answer, actually, that's relevant to this episode.
Okay.
Do you see parallels between Mami and Kyoko in their attitude towards rookie magical girls? They seem like the light and dark sides of the same coin, in that they both have egos tied to being acknowledged as superior or as the veteran. One in the form of being nurturing and educating, and one in the form of belittling / self-aggrandizing. Yeah, I mean,
I could see that.
I can definitely see that.
They both value their position as like people with authority. One just wants to be mommy, and the
Okay.
other one wants to be.
ding ding ding.
Oh yeah, it was Shaft.
Shaft did do the toothbrushing.
Okay, so we'll
Womp
edit.
womp. Okay.
Panda, put that Mami and Kyoko question first, and now let's
Yes.
go back. So we also had a question while we were deciding which of these questions to answer. Anon asked, or Levi, or Pulsatch on Twitter asked, are any of you familiar with any of Shaft's other works? Some of the avant-garde imagery in Madoka seems to match up with the other stuff they've made. And we weren't sure about answering that one because, to be honest, I'm not familiar.
I don't watch anime. I really don't watch anime.
We're so
This
bad
is
at
the
it.
most anime I've
Yeah.
watched in years is just for these podcasts, okay?
I do watch some anime, but the only Shaft stuff that I'm aware of that's done by them is the Monogatari series, and I wasn't sure about which ones they had done or not. And I know that there's one Monogatari, I don't even know if it shafted that one, but there's one where I just know there's a poster or like a key image for the anime of a girl like kind of slightly lifting up her skirt, kind of like Mommy did, and there's like scissors falling out, kind of like how the guns fell out of Mommy's skirt.
Nice.
So that's the only thing I
Yeah.
could think of. And I don't even know if Shaft does that. Again, I don't even know if that's necessarily Shaft, but that's the only thing I could think of about some of the imagery being the same. But
Well.
then Vanna had to get on
Well.
the bullshit, so here we go.
No, this is me, Yasha.
No, this was
is
Yasha.
me. This is
although
my
I'm
thing
the one
all
that
along.
yes, this is a Yasha joint.
See,
Yeah,
I
this-
still cannot
that's
tell
fine.
y'all's voices apart. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's
It's
why
okay.
we're saying so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no, this is my thing from episode 1 when I saw the toothbrushing scene and I went, oh fuck, that is one of those fetish adjacent things.
Well,
was because
I actually had Panda edit that out of the episode because I thought it was too fucking weird to put in the first
She
episode.
did.
Nope.
But here
You
we are,
shouldn't
we're
have done
back.
it.
We're back.
you
We're
shouldn't have done it because
we're back.
that was done. The toothbrushing scene that I was thinking of is from Nisei Monogatari, which is done by Shaft.
Now,
So,
I have
open
many
and
questions.
shut.
I have many questions.
What? I don't know if I can answer them, but go ahead and ask.
What was the toothbrushing scene in Nisei
It's a-
Monogatari?
Really?
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Okay, honestly,
Yeah.
like I can't really just Google like the toothbrushing scene and,
Alright, I'm
it-
doing
and
it.
it's like
You'll
that's-
find it.
You'll find it. Like you don't even have to put anime, I don't think. It's so notorious.
For the
Right.
full for the full
experience,
cursed effect, you should watch the video.
Yeah, just watch the video. But it's basically, I think they're siblings.
Yep, it's a brother
erotically brushing his sister's teeth.
Yep.
And it is...
Okay, this is different because this is clearly fetishistic.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, totally. We're just laughing because that's also Shaft. So.
But here's the thing. Due to the audience that's watching, due to the writer that's writing this, and the studio, now that I know this, and the studio, we've got to definitely say that is another one of those fetish-adjacent things, where long extended toothbrushing scene.
Yeah.
You know what? It's kind of like if you see a symbol in an Ikuhara anime, you're immediately going to go crash land into some certain interpretation because it's Ikuhara. But if it were someone else, you wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we feel here.
I could see that scene then being maybe a reference to this, like a
it's basically
kind of
it's not. It's almost it's almost like not even the level of a reference. It's something that when you show it to a regular person, they're not going to care. They're going to be like, what? Toothbrushes. But when you show it to somebody who has seen that scene, they're going to be like, oh, I remember that.
This is the difference between seeing a pair of feet in, like, a Steven Spielberg movie and a pair of feet in a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're like, oh, wait.
See, to me, the toothbrushing scene in Madoka is feet in a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, to me, it was feet in a Tarantino movie.
I think because this topic in and of itself is so fucking ludicrous and awful, I'm going to say either way is probably valid.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for watching Madoka Magicast. We sure did talk about a whole lot this episode.
We sure did.
Yeah, we sure did. Should we go ahead and plug ourselves on social media? You can,
for sure.
Yeah, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at Madoka Magicast. There's links there to all of our stuff everywhere: our Curious Cat, YouTube, SoundCloud, the Tumblr. You can find links there to everything. You can follow me on Twitter at Lambda Power. So that's Lambda, like the Greek letter, and then Power. And then you guys want to plug yourselves?
We still don't know why anybody would ever want to look for us, but in case you are garbage like us, and you also recognize the Nisa Monogatari scene, you can find us at ohtori.nu, and on Twitter you can find us at ohtori_nu. And basically from there you'll find everything that we do.
Yep.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to everybody, and we'll be back next time with episode 6, This Just Isn't Right. And we'll see you next time.
Bye!
You know, there's a lot of shit in this that just ain't right. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, see you all later. Bye.
Bye!
At first I didn't realize that was the episode title, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's the episode title.